Hello, guys. Welcome back to another podcast episode. This is episode 2 of my new podcast series. And today we're going to be talking about not knowing what to do in life and feeling like you're behind or stuck. Because personally, I've gone through it where people have been like, oh my gosh, you're so behind in life. Or like, I've been comparing myself to others and where they are in life and my age and just not knowing what to do for future plans, and I want to talk about that this episode. So let's get right into it. So I guess starting off with this topic, I want to talk about the pressure, the social pressure of kind of like people putting pressure on you of telling you have to know what you're going to do when you're older, like off the bat. Like for instance, when I was in high school, it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What are you going to be? What are you going to be? When I was in like grade 9 or 10, it's like you have to take all these classes so then you can go into college and do this and that. And they're like asking me what I want to do, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And it made me feel worried, I guess, for my future, because I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And the only thing I did know that I wanted to do was maybe play soccer at a, I guess, university or college level. I feel like the pressure that people put on you to know that at such a young age is crazy. It's like absolutely insane to me, because people will come out of high school and feel like they're forced to choose a major and go straight into college, or will choose something, they do it, and then halfway through their degree they're like, this isn't what I want to do. And then they're forced, well, not forced, but then they feel either trapped in the major and they end up with something that they don't want to do at all, they end up dropping out, or they want to switch halfway through, and then that just kind of, in my opinion, is more money and takes longer in school and college. So I feel like to avoid that, personally, I feel like that pressure shouldn't be put on children at that young age anyways. I feel like personally, everyone should take a gap year. I took a gap year after high school, and I felt like it really helped me try and figure out what I wanted to do, and I didn't feel forced into anything. And don't get me wrong, even after taking a gap year, I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Like I said, the only thing I knew I wanted to do was go to university or college playing soccer, which was kind of like a goal of mine since I was young. So whenever I tell teachers that or anyone, they're like, that's not a plan, like what, like, you know? And that's kind of where following your dream kind of comes in. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't throw everything away to follow a dream. But if you've been working on something since you were a kid, like for instance, I've been playing soccer since I was 6 or 5, and ever since I was like 14, I was like, oh my gosh, like I look up to these people that play at this college in my town. I'm like, man, I would love to be one of those people one day. And I was always told I wasn't good enough or whatever, so I just never thought it was an opportunity for me, until an opportunity did arise for me, and someone on my ladies league team like, oh, like I heard the coach there is looking for players, like they don't have a lot of players, like you should reach out to him. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I reached out to him, and then he said, yes, we want you to play for us, or we need players, are you willing to play? And that's kind of where it kind of fell into pieces for me, kind of like, okay, this is kind of actually happening now after my gap year. I was like, okay, well, now that I have that set in plan, now I need to find what I'm going to take. And then finding what I was going to take was, I guess, a little difficult, because I wasn't a big fan of school. I wasn't the best at school. I always kind of struggled, especially with my Tourette's and having a bit harder time with certain subjects. I didn't really like science, didn't really like math. I didn't mind English. Social studies was okay, but everything else, like, yeah, I just wasn't a big fan. So I tried to find something that I think I would enjoy. So I found out that the college in my hometown was offering a visual arts program, which was like painting, drawing, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I want to do. I like drawing, I like painting. I mean, I was like, yeah, I want to learn how to get better at that. And that's kind of like what the classes I were taking. So I was in a degree for visual arts. So I ended up taking a drawing 1 course, drawing 2, art history, and then I would have went on to take painting if I wanted, digital design, maybe photography, 3D fundamentals, drawing 4, drawing 5. You know, I would have sculpting, wood shop, you know, like I would have kept getting into that. I had a lot of people telling me, well, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with a visual arts degree? What are you going to do with that? And my only answer for them was kind of, well, I could go into something to do with creating. A lot of people don't think art is a good, reliable job, which is true if you think about it in the painter or drawer or portrait aspect. But there's so many other jobs in the visual arts field that can lead to that, which is jewelry designer, tattoo artist, fashion designer, digital designer, interior designer, advertisement making. There's so many different things in that realm that you can do that isn't only that, which there are jobs in the market for. I tried not to listen to the people that would tell me that it might not work. Because for me, honestly, at that point in my life, I was like, I just want to live out my dream of playing college soccer. I'm drawing, I'm doing something else I enjoy, what else do I possibly need right now? I was planning on just doing the degree for 3 years, because originally 2-year degree, I was going to stretch it out for 3 years. But not everything always goes to plan, of course. Life sometimes throws curveballs at you, and my coach ended up resigning, and a lot of the girls ended up leaving, and I was like, well, what do I do now? This is something I always wanted. I only got to live one life of my dream out. There's no, or just drop out of college. Because the thing was, some passion for drawing and art, but it wasn't something I would have did if I wasn't also playing soccer. And I talked to my coach at the time. He said, hey, there's this coach that used to coach here. I'm building a program down 8 hours away from where I am. And they're like, hey, you should reach out to him. So I was like, okay, I do like that coach. I knew the coach kind of, because they used to help coach in my hometown. I was like, okay, I'm willing to reach out to him. I reached out to him, and he said, yes, we want you. We're building a program here. The only problem is that it was a big curveball in my life. It was like, okay, I have to move 8 hours away from home, live by myself, a lot more money. It's a Christian school. I'm not Christian. All for, I guess, the dream of soccer, because they didn't even offer visual arts here. And then that's where a lot of people also ended up telling me, why would you waste all those years of your life or all that money just to go play soccer, follow a stupid dream? Honestly, I just feel like people don't get it sometimes. I think this is kind of where I started to compare myself to others, because I was like, wow, I'm literally have no idea what I want to do with my life. I'm choosing general studies as a major down there because they didn't have anything I wanted to do. So I just took a whole bunch of random courses. And when I knew other people already have their life in plan, they're like, I'm taking these courses, so then after I can go get my degree, and then I'm going to do this and that and that. And there's some people already working and have tons of money and already have a house or married. I personally, I like people that I went to high school with are already married or have kids. There's people right now that have kids, and I'm just still here at college, university, playing soccer, taking a degree, general studies. That's kind of a little hard to swallow. But then I realized that I shouldn't be comparing myself to other people and their life, because honestly, it's kind of where everything starts to fall apart. And that's also where the biological clock comes in. So I learned about this in psychology, actually. Guys, I am learning things, I swear. And it's kind of like where everyone has this preconception of when you should do things in life. Everyone has a preconception of, oh, I want to be married at this time. I should be married at this time. I should have kids by this time. I should have my degree by this time. I should, it's kind of like that kind of biological clock, right? It's like, I should have this all done, set in stone. But when you do that, it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on yourself in your life. And in reality, everyone runs their life at their own race. And I don't think people should judge other people for not being where they are in life, because people take different paths. For instance, I had friends tell me, or even family, oh, you're just wasting your time, you're going there, you're going that, doing that. But at the same time, they didn't live the same life I did. They don't understand how much this means to me, or how much a big opportunity this is for me, and all the stuff that I've learned from being here. I've met so many great people. I've learned so much more about Christianity, even though I'm not Christian. I've got to live on my own, feel like I'm a part of something, grown my soccer career as much more as I thought I ever would, and so much more even from my classes. I wasn't sure what I was gonna, because general studies, to graduate from it, you have to minor in 2 things, and I was like, hey, well, what am I gonna minor in? So I decided to minor in business administration and behavioral science. So that's what I'm doing right now. The reason I chose business is because I'm kind of interested in it. My mom owns her own business. I've kind of always gone around that aspect. And when it comes to art, and I want to do something creative, like I said, and that's kind of where my plan is, but it's not fully set in stone, obviously. I have opportunities. after I'm done school to maybe take on a job where I can do stickering and logoing company and work kind of like as an apprentice or work with them. And then maybe eventually I can work my way up into having something, but that's something that I want. And honestly, I think being patient is important, because if you just jump into something that you're like, oh, this makes lots of money or this or that, I would prefer to be happy rather than spend the rest of my life feeling sad and not enjoying what I do. And I know a lot of people say you can't enjoy work, but I honestly believe that you can enjoy your work if it's actually something you're passionate about. Like, for instance, soccer players, right? Professional soccer players, that's their job. And I guarantee that's their passion and they enjoy their work, what they do. Same with other jobs. There's tons of other jobs where people enjoy their work and what they do. And I feel like that's a very important part of life and mental health, because if you don't enjoy what you do, then what's really the point of life, right? I feel like you want to live it to your fullest and be the happiest you can be, and it's not helping if you're doing something you don't really enjoy, right? So me making that step to come here was kind of like my go with the flow moment. I don't have a big plan. I kind of just go with the flow and go where things take me in life, and that was one of the things where it takes me. Obviously, it's a bit hard trying to not compare myself to others, where they are in their life, how successful they are, and other people judging me. But at the same time, I started to realize that, yeah, like, this is what I want in my life, and they have no right to judge. Sorry, guys, my laundry. Dang it, but I want to finish this thought. Anyways, but they have no right to judge me for my life, because it's my life and not theirs. And honestly, if they're judging me based on my life, it kind of like, it's like, why do you care about what I'm doing in my life if you have your own life? To me, it kind of gives jealousy. Like why care what I'm doing in my life? You know, like, you have your own life to live. Like, why do you care what other people are doing in their life? And if you feel that I'm behind in life, just leave it at that. Like, there's no point to make someone feel bad about it or be like, oh, they're so behind. Like, I just don't think it matters. So I don't really care when people judge me anymore about what I'm doing in life and where I'm at, because I don't think it really matters. And even coming here, like, I even met my boyfriend. Like, now I have a boyfriend. We've been together for like a year and 3 months or something now. Because if I never came here, like, who knows, maybe I never would have met my boyfriend. And my boyfriend is from my same town. Like, what are the odds of me coming here 8 hours away, meeting someone from my town, also with the same name as me? Hello? Like what are the odds of that? But anyways, that's what I mean by, like, going with the flow of life. And I never really like the idea of people saying you have to know what you want to do. Because like I said, there's tons of people that don't know what they want to do in their life. And there's also people that go into college. Like, I know people that go to my university that have decided to switch majors halfway through. I think that's totally all right. I think you can do whatever you want. And a lot of people go through life not knowing what they want to do up until they're like 30. And I think that's okay. I feel like you don't have to know what you're going to do right away, and find the little things you enjoy. If you enjoy cooking, being a chef, go work as a dishwasher to start at a restaurant, and then work your way up there, and then you can start cooking food. Or if you like art like me, try and find something in that visual aspect realm, or try learning some things, and you know, or if you're like reading, like, maybe go work at a library to start out and see where that leads you. Those might sound like minuscule jobs, but honestly, when you're in the world, you got to kind of work your way up and build connections and stuff. And I feel like it's okay to start off small and work your way up. And that's kind of where I come back to living in the moment. I've been having a hard time lately just living in the moment of my life. About like the future soccer season and all this stuff, and I'm worrying about the past and future, but like, honestly, I'm trying really hard to just focus in the moment. And I think that's one of the most important things that you should focus on in life, because if you're too worried about the future or the past, it just brings extra stress that you don't need. You should make every day worth living for. Like, be better today than you were yesterday. You know, you should be grateful for living in the moment. Like, you don't want to worry about the future or the past, because honestly, today's today, and I should be not bypassing the day worrying about the future or the past, because otherwise I'm letting today pass me by and wasting all the energy I could be putting in today. And I should be living in that moment, if that makes sense. Find the enjoyments, the little enjoyment in every day. Even if it's a bad day, there's something in your day that was enjoyable. And if it's nothing personally to you, it could be that the sun was shining, it was raining. You could even be grateful for waking up in the morning. And I know that sounds a little gruesome, but you never know when your life will end and not waking up. And honestly, that's one of the greatest things you could be grateful for, and find the enjoyment in the day. Like, I woke up today, and that's, I think, a really important note that someone mentioned to me the other day that really got me thinking, like, wow. And I feel like everyone should that way. Because they might think, like, oh, I have so much time in my life, but honestly, you never know. And that does sound a little sad, but honestly, it's the truth. So that's why I really want to try living in the moment more, and I feel like it's one of the best ways, and that's why I don't want to let this dream of mine or this passion of soccer and why I came here to bypass me, because some people never follow their dreams and then in their later life they regret it. And honestly, that's something I don't want to do in my life, because you only get one, right? And why live your life not doing something that you really want or enjoy? And I'm not saying that everyone's dreams are capable, because sometimes they're not, and that's just the reality. Everyone says you can be whatever you want to be, and honestly, it's not true. There's also luck that comes with it, and it's not true. You can't be everything you want to be, but there are some things that sometimes luck will fall in your place, and something will happen and lead you to here. Like, something led me here, and now I'm here, and I'm grateful for that decision. If my old coach never resigned, I would have never found this place. I would have made more friends, or found myself, gotten experience living on my own, learning so many new things, learning about Christianity, having the soccer opportunity. Like I said, like, it just comes with luck and being grateful and living in the moment. And that's why I'm happy that I chose to come here. And life is just living in the moment, I feel like. And like, it's fine to plan out your life and have a 5-year plan, but at the end of the day, when that plan doesn't come into how you expected it, some people start to crash. Crash as I mean, like, start to really stress about their life and start to crumble. And like, oh my gosh, this didn't happen how I wanted it to. And I do sometimes struggle with that when it comes to little things, like planning a trip and this didn't happen how I want, but sometimes I'm a bit better at living in the moment. But when it comes to planning my life, I could never plan my life 5 years in advance. Like, obviously, yes, I do have biological clocks. Like, oh, I want to be married at this age. I want to have kids by this age, because if I don't have kids by this age, then I'm going to be an old mom, and I don't want to be an old mom, But, I shouldn't be worrying about that right now, because like I said, it's not in the moment. So if you don't know what to do in life, it's okay. Everything will work out. I guess you could say I'm proof of everything being okay without knowing what's going on and what's happening, because honestly, my life is still a mess, and I still don't really know what exactly I'm going to do after I graduate. I still have 1 more year, maybe even another half. I don't know. I don't think so, but you never know where my life could take me, what opportunities I have coming next, and what life has in store for me. At the end of the day, for a recap, I think you just shouldn't worry about what other people think about you and comparing yourself to others, because like I said, you run your life at your own race, and it's almost like a horse race if you think about it. Some horses are faster than others and some aren't as fast as others, but at the end of the day, you all make it to the finish line, being the end of life. So it doesn't matter how fast or slow you run it. So go with the flow, live in the moment, and don't worry about the future or the past. And be grateful for the little things, like waking up in the morning, or the sunrise, or the rain, or someone saying I love you, or someone smiling at you, or like I said, even you just waking up if you can't find anything else in the day, because honestly, that's one of the most beautiful things about life. That's probably the end of this podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming to episode 2 of this podcast. If you liked it, please drop a like down below. Comment if there's anything else. Actually, if you guys want me to talk about or discuss, I have tons of more topics I want to talk about. Another one I just came up with the other day is actually creativity and where did it go. I'm really excited to talk about that one, because I'm a bit of a creative person. I'm not as creative as I used to be, because I don't have as much time to be creative, but creativity is all around us. And I think that's an important topic, and I'm excited to discuss that one with you guys. So, yeah. Anyways, bye guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.